back on my sunset in the snow walk. It's so gorgeous today. It's such a beautiful day, but oh my God, is it ever cold as fuck? It's so cold, but it's so beautiful. So let's keep walking. It's so beautiful. I'm just standing here and staring at the sun. Try to feel the heat. It's not the most fantastic view. We've got the train tracks and an industrial area behind. Whenever I look at those train tracks or any train tracks, for some reason I always think of that song. It's a 90s song. I think it goes something like runaway train never coming back, runaway on a one train track, some shit like that. But I always think of that song. Anywho, let's keep walking. Oh my God, it's so cold. It's so cold. It's so cold. And tomorrow we're expecting a snowstorm. It's gonna start in the middle of the night tonight, so I don't think I'm gonna be filming from here tomorrow, but whatever. Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Okay. My name is Caroline, and today I would like to talk about what to do when you feel resistance, okay, when it comes to the things that you desire to experience, to manifest, and all that good stuff. All right. So here's what I do, because in my last video, yesterday's video, actually, I'll link it below in the description box if you want to watch it. But I talk about the spiraling episodes I've had since the New Year's. And by the way, if sometimes I can't pronounce my words correctly, it's because my lips are starting to freeze. It's so fucking cold, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? Please and thank you. Now, here's what I've been doing when I feel that resistance, because I've been spiraling. So it's been hard for me to really pour a lot of like water on top of the seeds that I've planted in the past few months, especially now that things went completely left. Well, not completely. There's one thing that is in the works. It seems to be, working out, but for other things, it's like it went left, okay? And so when I go into my mind space and I want to imagine and visualize myself living from the end, living from that space, being in that space, making it real within me, in my inner reality, so that I can materialize it in my outer reality. I've been feeling that resistance because the 3D is showing me something different. And even though I worked and planned and organized for it to happen at this moment, okay, so it's not happening. So I have this resistance. I get triggered, okay, easily. And so what I've been doing is, instead of focusing on that one thing, I live. If you know Neville Goddard, you're aware of this technique, but I live from the end, and I only focus on the end and how it feels in my body versus the details of it. So let's say it's something specific, like, I don't know, let's say a specific person that you want to be with and that you feel strongly connected to, but things are not going the way that you desire them to go. Instead of focusing on that person specifically and being with them, because then you might feel some resistance because, oh my God, the person's not calling me back, they're not paying me attention, they don't seem to be interested, or maybe there's a third party involved, or whatever it is. Instead of focusing on that person specifically, which might trigger all kinds of thoughts and you might feel some type of resistance, how about just focusing on how it feels to be in a loving, respectful relationship? And not necessarily with that person, but just how would you feel being in that relationship? And focus on that. So that's what I've been doing. It's like slowly but surely just working on living from the end energetically, without all the specific details of what it is that I desire to manifest. And one of the ways that I do that is I go in a meditative state. So it doesn't have to be complicated. So you could just do something simple like, okay, you sit down, you get comfortable, or you lay down, but just get comfortable. From that space of comfort, take a few deep breaths. You know, it could be 3, it could be just 1, whatever helps your body really relax and recenter your nervous system. So you really want to feel at ease, relaxed, almost as if you want to go and take a nap. And then once you're in that space, let's say you feel joy. Like joy is the feeling associated with being in that loving relationship, right? So if, let's say I was to apply that to me, I would think, okay, what's one example of a joyous moment in my life? Like, without a shadow of a doubt, it was a moment of pure joy. It could be a moment when I was a young girl. It could be, you know, when I spent time with my best friend, or when I'm with my boyfriend, or when I'm having coffee with my parents and we're laughing, we're telling jokes. Or it could be when I take a walk and I just feel joyful. I just take one specific example in my life of experienced joy. Like, there's no doubt in my mind I felt joy at that moment. And then I'll think of that moment and just focus on that moment for a moment and start feeling the joy that's associated with that specific memory. Okay, so I'll think, let's say, of myself telling jokes with my parents while we're having coffee, and then I start feeling the joy. You know, I feel the joy, and with each breath I amplify that joy. It's like I'm breathing into the joy, so it just amplifies within my body, and almost as if like it's coming from the heart, and the heart is pumping joy to each cell in my body. So through the veins, it just travels all the way down to my feet, to my toes, down my arms to my fingertips, up my head. It fills up my chest, it fills up my abdomen and my back. Oh, there's that train again, right on time. Meow, 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 meow. Okay. So you breathe with each breath, amplify that joy. It's like you're pouring water into a cup, you're pouring joy into your heart, and you just feel it like fill up and start spreading everywhere in your body and even outside of your body. Then once you start feeling that joy in your body related to that memory, this is when I release the memory. So let go of the memory and focus on the joy that I feel in my body. And I keep breathing through that and just feel it, feel it, feel it, to make it so real in my body. You want to, like, what would be the term in English? In French, you would say éponger, but it's like a sponge that you would just like put in water, and you want to take as much as that water into the sponge as possible. So you just really want to, like, your body's a sponge and it's just taking up all that joy. Because it roots deep into your being. Your being is joy. If somebody looked at you, they would say, oh my God, joy embodied, or joy incarnated, joy personified. In French, we would say personnifié, but I don't know if that works in English. Anyways, but you get it. Point is, they would look at you and be like, oh my God, joy. Why are you so joyful? What's going on? Like, there's something about you. You reek of joy, you know? And once you're in that vibe, in that state of being, okay, so literally you're embodying joy, then when you're ready, you can just open your eyes and go about your day and just keep feeling that feeling within you. And maybe sometimes with a few breaths, you just consciously amplify it within you, and then you just keep it moving. And if you do that, the more and more you do that, the more it literally becomes you. And now you're living in the end. Your body is speaking the language of whatever it is you desire, because it's joy that you're really looking to experience, and therefore you're in a state of being of joy. You're in a state of joy, period. So from that space, you open up the doors to joyful occasions to just come into your life, because your brain is going to look for any examples in your life or any situations in your life that bring you joy. It'll just like look for them and attract them more towards you. to match the vibe that you're feeling inside of you. You see what I'm saying? So when I feel resistance, when I feel like I'm triggered and I might go into a spiral, I remember, okay, well, how can I live or be in the end? Like really just be from the end, from the result that I'm looking for. So if I'm looking to feel joy, if I'm looking to feel peace, if I'm looking to feel relaxed, if I'm looking to feel stress-free, if I'm looking to feel, okay, financially free, if I'm looking to feel adventurous, whatever it is, I look for an example of a moment that I actually experienced it in my life. So it's a real thing that my brain can easily like tap into, and then think of that memory from a relaxed state of being. I feel the feeling associated with it in my body. So whatever sensations, whatever you feel in your body, just pay attention to that. This is your body speaking in joy, peace, relaxation, financial freedom, adventurous, being in a loving relationship, whatever it is, right? So my body is feeling that. And then with the breath, I just breathe life through that. I give it life. I pour water onto that seed so that it really, takes growth, takes space within my being, until the point where it's like, it's undeniable. I feel joy now. I feel peace now. I feel relaxed now. I feel financially free now. I feel in love now. And then I go about my day and I keep tapping into that vibe. And the more you do it, the easier it is, because like anything, whatever you practice, the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature, or actually it becomes your nature. It just becomes who you are. So it's easier to just tap into it, to breathe into it, and to amplify it so that you feel it more. So it's kind of like saying, instead of focusing on this one thing, you look at the bigger picture. You expand the possibilities in your mind. Because if I stayed on, oh my God, this is not working out, wherever I put my energy, kind of like a sun, wherever you shed the most light is what will grow the most. So instead of just focusing on, oh, this is not working out, I'm just going to look at the bigger picture. It's like, well, anything is possible. It working out is possible, but it working out is possible, and everything in between, right? That's what I tell my students in my yoga classes. I remember this one class where I was one of the peak poses. Well, the peak pose was crow pose, so that's a balancing pose on your hands. And when I did it, so I show it to the students first before we get into it. And when I did it, a lot of people in the class were like, oh my God, I can't do that. I won't be able to get into that pose. Like, I'm going to fall on my face, or, I'm going to hurt myself or whatever. And I was like, okay, you know what? Just try it. So they would try and they would fall, or they would not be able to, or they'd be too scared to get into the pose. And then, like, I needed them to experience that. So then I told everyone, okay, hold on one moment. Let's have a little quick chit chat. And I explained to them, it's happening here in the mind. Like, you can decide how things are going to flow. Now, maybe it's going to be too much of an extreme for you to think I can get into the pose. You might feel resistance, and then it's not going to work, right? It's not going to translate well between your brain and your body, because the bodies can't lie. The body's going to be like, no, we can't do that. However, if you broaden your mind to all the possibilities, I said, instead of thinking I can't do it, I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to fall, I won't be able to get into the pose, why not think, let's try, let's explore, let's see what's possible. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but everything is possible within that range of possibilities to get into that pose. So that being said, once I had that little chit chat with the group, I told them, let's try again, but now try it from a mind space of, hey, let's try. What's the worst that can happen? Okay, I fall. It's okay. We're here to practice, right? So it's all good. But everything is possible. All the options are on the table as far as what can happen between me and that pose. And no lie, I'm thinking of one specific class where that happened. No lie, all the people who said they couldn't do it, only one of them couldn't get into the posture, but everybody else who said they couldn't did. Even if they held it for like 2.1 seconds, but they got into the pose. Just from freeing their minds from, I can't do it. And without lying to themselves and creating resistance by saying, I can, but deep down they were like, no, I don't think I can. Just from the space, the inner space of everything's possible, magic happened. And of course, you have to write the right instructions, the right cues, the right alignment. And with all of that, they were able to get into it. So it's the same thing with life. It's like, okay, well, let's say if we take the same example of being in a loving relationship with someone that, right now there's things are not working out the way that you would want. Instead of focusing on, oh my God, it's not working out, it's not happening, there's all these obstacles or challenges or whatever is going on that's not making it possible, how about we broaden that to everything is possible? Let's see what's gonna happen. I'm staying open. I stay open. It cannot work, but it can work too. Let's find out. And then from that mind space, you can practice the exercise that I told you about, where you have a memory of a moment where you experience the feelings that you desire to feel from whatever you want to manifest, and focus on the sensations in your body, on feeling that in your body, on embodying that feeling of joy, of love, of freedom, of relaxation, of inner peace, of inner calm. You pair those two up together and you're going to see magic's going to happen. And I know that because I've done that and it's worked for me. I've taught that in my classes. It's worked for my students. And even with my friends or with people when I have conversations, it's one of the things that I always suggest, try that and see what happens. And just keep yourself open, because everything is possible. You got to have faith in yourself and have faith in something greater than you, and just stay open. Okay, so my phone is like, girl, let's go home. It keeps telling me it's time to shut it down and go home. So I hope this video helps. Let me know in the comments if you try my tips, how it works out for you. And of course, if this is your type of vibe, like and subscribe. There's more to come. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you from the highest place in my heart. It's time to go home. The sun is setting. It's getting colder. So on that note, I will let you go, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great, beautiful end of your day. Peace.